If a song is worth making, it's worth remaking. This is TJR, and you're watching Remake Rumble. This week on Remake Rumble, our song is 2000 Man, originally recorded by the Rolling Stones on their album Their Satanic Majesty's Request back in 1967. The remake is by Kiss and was released on their album Dynasty back in 1979. Now, I personally feel these two albums have something in common. They were both considered very divisive albums by their fans. Many critics have called Their Satanic Majesty's Request a poor man's Sgt. Pepper album. And that's a criticism that I intend to address in a future video that I'm working on. Now, Kiss's Dynasty album also was very divisive to its fans, as this was the album where the band embraced disco. Yes, this was once a thing. As for myself, I'm somewhere in the middle on both these albums. I don't hate or dislike them. There are many tracks off both these albums that I like. But they're definitely not my favorite album from either group. So in one corner we have the original by the Rolling Stones, and in the other corner we have the remake by Kiss. Let's rumble. Now, my first exposure to this song was through the remake by Kiss. I had not yet heard the Rolling Stones version when I heard the Kiss version, but I definitely knew who the Rolling Stones were, and when I pulled out that vinyl album back in the day and looked at the label, I saw the credits there, 2000 Man, M. Jagger, K. Richards, and I knew, oh, this is a Rolling Stones song, and a Rolling Stones song I've never heard. And so I was excited to put that piece of vinyl onto the platter and check out this song. And from the moment I heard the opening chords to the song as played by Kiss, I thought, yeah, this sounds like a Rolling Stones song. You can tell. Even though Kiss is remaking it, it's got their stamp on it.
Well, my name is a number. It's on a piece of plastic film, and I've been growing funny flowers outside of
Sounds like the Stones to me. Even though the Dynasty album embraced disco, 2000 Man is just a straightforward rock and roll song played by Kiss with lead guitarist Ace Frehley on vocals. And when he goes for the solo, Ace just plays those Keith Richards licks. Now, it would be many years before I would actually get to hear the Rolling Stones' original version of the song. Remember, this was in the days before the internet, when you couldn't just listen to any song you wanted just by pulling up a web browser or whipping out your cell phone. In fact, I didn't even know what album it was off of. And the only way to find out back then was, for the most part, to go to the record store, and hopefully they had all the Stones albums there, and look on the back of each album until you found out which one that was. So when I finally did get to hear Their Satanic Majesty's Request and got to hear the song 2000 Man, I have to admit, I was kind of surprised. I figured that, the Stones version would be probably pretty close to the version that Kiss did. I figured it'd probably be also, once again, just a straightforward rocker.
Well, my name is a number, a piece of plastic film, and I grow many flowers in my little windowsill. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man? And my kids, they just don't understand me at all.
This is not what I was expecting. Now, admittedly, the song does start to resemble a Rolling Stones song at around the 1 minute and 24-second mark when it gets to that part of "Oh Daddy, Proud of Your Planet." It's this part of the song that sounds the most like the way that Kiss ended up remaking it. And I have to kind of wonder if maybe someone in Kiss, or Ace Frehley, since he's the one singing on it, was maybe listening to the song and heard that part of the song and thought, hey, you know, if they played the whole song that way, it'd be just a real rocker.
Oh, Daddy, proud of your planet. Oh, Mommy, proud of your son. Oh, Daddy.
And that was what inspired the remake. Who knows? Because otherwise, I just can't picture why do that song. I can't picture someone at the label saying, yeah, you boys need to remake a Stones song. How about 2000 Man? That really fits you guys. So who wins in this Rumble? Well, my first instinct was to just say Kiss, because their version sounds and feels more like a Rolling Stones song.
But don't you know I'm a 2000 man, and my kids, they just don't understand me at all.
But then I began to struggle with that decision. I thought, well, you know, maybe you're not being fair. I mean, after all, you heard the Kiss version first, so you have more nostalgia with it. And we sometimes get married to the versions we hear first. And I thought about that for a while. I remember I was first exposed to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds through Elton John's remake, and then I heard the Beatles version. Initially, I sided with the Elton John version, but then as time wore on, I began to see the brilliance of the Beatles version, and now I like them both equally. So I did listen to their Satanic Majesty's Request, the album, because I do plan on commenting on the album in the near future, but I also really paid attention to 2000 Man. And it's very different, of course. It's very different for the Rolling Stones. So is the whole album.
Don't you know I'm a 2000 man, and my kids, they just don't understand me at all.
But as I thought about it and made sure that I wasn't letting nostalgia drive my decision, and I began to still come to the same conclusion, basically. With all due respect to Rolling Stones fans around the world, of which I am one, so I guess that means I'm giving due respect to myself as well, I declare Kiss the winner in this Remake Rumble. I have, of course, come to appreciate the Rolling Stones version more as time has gone on, but I still prefer the Kiss version. So what do you think? Have you listened to these two versions? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And if my verdict on these two songs has filled you with so much rage and fury that you need to chill. It's just an opinion. It's not the end of the world. This is TJR. Thank you for watching Remake Rumble. And what song should I rumble with next? Bye. That really hurt.